Hey, we all know life gets busy. Everything revolves around that 9 to 5 job or whatever hours you work. But you do need to rejuvenate yourself. Dream of that perfect holiday. Think outside the box. Think of something that is so unique that you'll be thinking of it for the rest of your life. You could get that feeling of going back in time, living simpler, experiencing life in a different way. There are so many options, but you can do a desert trek in Morocco. It's not too expensive and it is super exotic. Hi, this is my video channel, Inspired to Travel with Bev. A little bit about myself. I've traveled to 62 countries, lived in 8 of them. I've done all sorts of different kinds of travel. I've traveled by plane, by train, by boat, cruise ship or canoe, kayaking. I've also done donkey. This will be our last video on Morocco and we'll look at the desert. 3 fun facts left. First, it's important in the film industry. It has the largest film set outside of Hollywood, sometimes called Little Hollywood or the Hollywood of Africa. You may recognize some of these scenes from movies, and we'll show more of it later. Number 2, they have a great tea culture. Usually mint tea. When you buy something, they'll show you carpets, you'll get tea. When you visit with someone, you'll get tea. Always there. And third, it has the second largest oasis in the world, the largest oasis in the Sahara. And I've got pictures of that later. If you're excited to go to the desert, here are 3 ways to experience the Sahara. Enjoy from the hotel. Just dip your feet in a little bit. Or immerse yourself and enjoy the whole experience. The Sahara is on the south of Morocco, so you have to go over the mountains. It's a long trip. But if my 70-year-old parents can do it, and they loved it, you can do it too. Now be sure and stay till the end. I give some information on a bonus destination for you. For this video, we're checking out ways to get to the Sahara Desert. The Sahara stretches right across Africa, east to west. It is into Morocco in the south there, where you can see. Google Maps shows the red sands creeping up into Morocco there. And there are 2 large dunes. You can see them marked on the map there that you can visit one or the other. If you're going to the desert, again, I will suggest using Morocco Explored. They're a great company. They have all sorts of different trips they do. I do not get any reimbursement for promoting them. I just think they're a great company. This is the guide I had for at least 2 of my trips. So to get to the desert, as you saw from the map, you have to go through the Atlas, over the Atlas. You get some beautiful scenery on the way. The roads are a little bit scary, so trust your driver. They often stop and let you get photographs. You go through the high Atlas and you're heading into the anti-Atlas. If you have a guide, you don't go by yourself. They know all the spots to stop for breakfast and shopping on the way. You get to see these houses clinging to the side of the mountains. Into the anti-Atlas, you get some different types of soil. And then you're coming up to Ouarzazate, which, as I mentioned, is the Hollywood of Africa. There are some places there. We stopped for lunch there. Then we took some time to go in the ruins and some of the buildings. We did not get into the actual film sets. These are the scenery ones that you get to look at. And you might recognize from movies. It's interesting, just a month ago, I watched a movie. Only small part was in Africa, but I recognized this as the background of the scene, which was kind of cool. You can climb around a bit. You can actually go into the buildings, and there are actually stores in there, but it's very interesting to be on site. Some of the movies that were filmed here are Gladiator, parts of The Mummy, Kingdom of Heaven, and Game of Thrones Season 3. Just think, after being here, you can go back and say, hey, I was there next time you watch it, or rewatch it. All this cool stuff, and you're not even to the desert yet. But wait, there's more. You can find these wells dug deep into the soil, and back on the road, you can visit Dade's Gorge. Very deep gorge between the mountains. You can go into it. You can see that they've got a channel to give the locals easy access to the water. There are beautiful views. And then the oasis. This is the second largest in the world, but the largest in the Sahara. There's a good view of it there. It goes for miles and communities live around it and get their whole livelihood from it. They export figs and dates. They actually grow grains because they harvest the water. And to learn how to do that, we met a farmer. The guide told us some, but Dad had a great conversation with a local farmer that came to show us how they got water. So there they build walls and they have channels in there for the water. Then each family has so many hours a day. They unblock the water, get water into their section. Then they go back, block it, and the next family gets water. It was such an eye-opener to see how they live in a true community, helping each other and living in such harsh climate. I also loved how it made me more aware of the environmental aspect of saving and using water appropriately. We took some time to visit in the community there and saw a woman making a carpet right there, and then we were able to buy some. It had been a long, busy, and exciting day, and we found our hotel in Tenrir, which was an old kasbah made into a hotel. It had a wonderful pool, very nice. It felt authentic and a little bit exotic, as if you truly were back in time. The decorations were typical Moroccan, the type of thing you could buy in the Medinas, which gave us more ideas for what we could buy. We woke refreshed and ready to go. This is the day we see the desert, onto the Sahara. Once you're through the mountains and down through the Anti-Atlas, it's very dry. The roads are simpler. As you get closer to the desert, it's gravelly. You leave the mountains behind you. You can see them in the distance there, and you're on almost a dirt road. You see subsistence farmers, animals grazing. There are sheep, there are donkeys, and you start seeing camels, which is interesting. The road is so dry and so simple and gravelly. I asked the driver how he knows where to go. He said there are white stones marking it, very important if there are sandstones. Then you see the red in the distance and you're like, it really is red sand. Finally, the gray turns into the red of the Sahara. So let's talk about the simple enjoy from the hotel aspect of enjoying the Sahara. There are things to do at your hotel. There is the hookah, famous there, but be warned that it is still dangerous, just like smoking. Then there is mint tea and other Moroccan delicacies. Most of the hotels will have a pool that you can cool off in. And then there are some other unique aspects like dune sledding or sand sledding, which my friend and I did in pitch dark at night, which not so smart, but it was fun just on cardboard. In the Sahara, there's very little pollution and no light pollution, so stargazing is a must. It's absolutely phenomenal. My first visit to the desert was in August when the meteor shower was on, and we counted 29 falling stars in 1 hour. It was so beautiful. There's one last activity that is kind of like spa treatment. And again, my friend and I did it pitch black on the side of a dune. Not smart, but you bury yourself in sand, or they bury you. And you sit there and the moist heat relaxes your muscles, soothes them. It's become very popular in Japan and Asia, but you can do it now in the Sahara Desert. You've had a taste of the desert, now you want more. Dip your feet in a little bit more. One option is to take a short camel ride into the desert. My parents did this. They're in their mid-70s. They got on a camel. We went in far enough into the desert that we couldn't see anyone around. It was basically behind a dune, but it was still a camel ride. It was exciting. We visited a close Berber camp and were entertained by the Berber style. You can do all the other things that you can enjoy from the hotel, but the best is yet to come. Immerse yourself. Get the whole experience. Get the cloth, wrap it around your head. They teach you how to tie it. You do an overnight trek in the desert where you're sleeping in a Berber camp. You get on the camels. One guide leads you. So I think there's one behind as well. Usually you're leaving midday into the afternoon. You get there early evening, so you have the evening there. You can see there are tracks, other people are around. The farther you go, the less you see people, the less you see tracks. It's you, your camels, the guide, and the desert. You hear the wind, you hear the sand tinkling. It's a type of silence. Your noises from your camel and walking and the vast open spaces. It's quite almost emotional. From the top of the dune, you have quite a view. As you go down, you lose your view and feel enclosed. These melons are the only thing we saw growing. And then we saw our Berber camp where we'd sleep. Got settled in, found the bathroom, which was quite interesting, and then decided to climb the dune for the sunset. They suggest you do this, and one of my friends and I headed up the dune. This is not my picture, but it shows as you go, it gets difficult. You slide back, your shoes get full of sand. It's quite a workout. Then you get to the top, and we just barely made the sunset. Got a picture with the sunset just over the dunes behind, and then headed down. Now going down, you take giant steps and slide down. Our shoes got so heavy and full of sand. We got all layered up because it had turned quite cold as soon as the sun was gone. Went to find the tent that had a fire on and dinner served. And we were entertained again by the Berber guides that brought us, and drums and singing. Any of you that have camped, you know you have to go to the bathroom at like 3 o'clock in the morning. It's Murphy's Law. So yeah, you gotta creep out of your warm bed and go find that toilet. But the morning was beautiful. The sun peeked over the dunes. And this, my favorite picture with the dune and the moon. We were back on the camels, heading out in the early sunshine to our hotel, then on the road again through the mountains. Now that we've done the Sahara, think about those 3 options and which one might suit you. Maybe you really don't want to go out and sleep in the desert overnight. Maybe it's the perfect thing. But you can enjoy it no matter which you choose. We took a different route back, going around the other way so we could do a special bonus trip. So the bonus trip is visiting some ruins. We're going to explore Roman ruins, Volubilis. Volubilis is a UNESCO heritage site now, and it's believed to have been a Roman colony on the fringes of the Roman Empire since 1st century BC AD, somewhere in there. It was possibly the capital of Mauritania when it was owned by the Romans. It's nestled in rich, fertile land, and you can just imagine it was one way for the Romans to have a stronghold in the area. One reason the area is protected is because these mosaics are so unique. They're well preserved, they're vivid, they're bright. You can see the vibrant colors coming through. And the bathhouse also is quite intact and shows how they must have lived in those times. We had a chance to wander around. Our driver was also our guide. Tall columns can be seen still standing, and also right nearby is the roadway. It must have been the center of the town. The road goes all the way through it, connecting the various aspects of the town. It would have been well used. This is the triumphal arch, very common in Roman buildings. And there are some buildings intact. This flat one is where they pressed olives, and you can still see the stone that they used. And feeling again like you've stepped back in time. But we had to go, moving on. We took the road out, saying goodbye to Volubilis, the beautiful countryside, and the feeling of touching history just a little bit. I hope you enjoyed this video, seeing the oasis, the beautiful, sensational Sahara, and maybe I inspired you a little bit to think of this sort of trip for your wonderful next holiday. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again. The next video will be on Malta in the Mediterranean.